This is The Stash, and you're listening to the Business Bottom Line Podcast, coming to you from the Jewel City of the Mountains, Greenville, Tennessee. We're in the foothills of the Smokies talking business with people just like you who are responsible for the bottom line, sharing business tips to inspire, inform, and improve, and turn your bottom line from red to black. Hello, this is Bill with the Business Bottom Line Podcast, and we've got a special guest with us today, Andrew from Openly, and we're going to get acquainted with Andrew and learn a little bit about who he is, and then talk about some things that'll be relevant to everyone, and especially business owners. So, good morning, Andrew, and welcome to the podcast.
Bill, it's great to be here. I really appreciate you thinking of me to be a part of this.
Well, yes, certainly. Thank you. What you do is relevant, and Openly is certainly relevant. And so we're glad to get a little bit of perspective from the other side of the fence, so to speak, from where I live my life. And that's always helpful. So I've just got a few things to ask you as we get started. Tell us a little bit about your background. You can sprinkle some family in that, but just kind of tell us how you got to where you are today.
Yeah, that's a great question. So originally born and raised in Florida, and went to college for originally a chemical engineering degree, ended up with an economics one, and I graduated at a wonderful time of fall of 2008. So if you recall, that was during the Great Recession, and coming out of college with no job experience was not an easy thing to do. So I ended up in the insurance industry, to be honest, largely because I realized that it was something that was a lot more recession proof than a lot of other industries. So when you think about, you have to have auto insurance, you have to have home insurance if you've got a mortgage, right? That really kind of led me to the industry during what was otherwise a turbulent time. And so I started off as an agent with a personal lines group that handled home and auto in Florida, Georgia, and Tennessee, and really kind of stuck with the industry ever since.
Interesting. Yeah, that was quite an entrance in 2008. Things got a little sideways. Well, with anything financial, for sure. Insurance included. Okay. And so, are you still single, married? What's the family circumstance?
Yes. So my spouse is actually originally from Nashville, one of the few, as she likes to claim. So she's the reason that I'm up here. So I've been up here now for about 11 years. We've been married for a little over 9. She's got my wonderful stepson, Mike, that is just finished his freshman year of high school, which is absolutely crazy to think about. But yeah, that's the family life between me, her, him, and then of course our dog Delia. So she is a pit bull that we rescued a little over a year ago, and she's a sweetheart.
Well, cool. Well, it sounds like you've got a lot going on there as well as at work. So family is always a part of work, whether people think it is or not. It really is the reason we do work, in my opinion. I've always agreed to the old adage of we don't live to work, we work to live. So work is a necessary part, and I even consider it a gift from God as far as that part goes. But it's actually about the people in our lives, and certainly our family is that. So have you read a favorite book lately? Do you have a favorite book?
So truth be told, I haven't done a ton of reading lately, mainly because I've been working on my CPCU designation So for those who are outside of the industry, it's referred to a charter property casualty underwriter designation. And the reason why I chose it is most folks within the industry almost look at it as having like an MBA in insurance. Right. So I've been working on that. That being said, a book that has served me well throughout my career, especially when taking on new responsibilities or taking on a leadership role, is the first 90 days.
Okay.
And the reason why I like that is it really kind of gives you a way to think about new responsibilities. And it's actually formatted in a way where you can work your way through it, where it has different charts and tools you can use to be able to do that. And I've done that exercise a couple times in my life.
Okay. Well, great, great. I've always found reading to be informative, and it helps you move forward in life, both personally and in business. So it's a habit that I've always tried to pursue throughout life, and I don't read as much now as I used to, but I've always got a stack that I'm trying to work through, and a goal to get through at least a half dozen books a year, which sometimes more, sometimes less, but that's kind of a goal out there. So, just tell me one final thing personally. Hobby. If you didn't have to get up and go to openly every day, as it were, what would you be doing if you could just do one of those dream things?
Oh gosh. I would love to just if there's no budget, I would love to do a ton of traveling. Specifically, I'm a huge sports fan, so I think it
Okay.
would be great to like be able to get out to every stadium, for sure, especially football and baseball. Those would be probably my two favorites that I would try to make sure I got to every stop.
Okay. Okay, good. Gotcha. Well, let's talk now about what you do. What does a day in the life look like? And then from there, we'll just kind of get into some insurance weeds, as it were, and some things, thoughts you have about business as well. But what does a day in the life look like?
Yeah. Every day is always a little bit different, and that's one of the things that I really enjoy about my job. But my primary responsibility is to be the agency success manager at Openly here for this great state of Tennessee. So what that basically means is that I handle all the relationships with our independent agencies that we have appointed throughout the state. So, Bill, you're one of them, right?
Okay.
But really, the idea is to make sure that the agencies that I work with know our product, know what we do, know what we specialize in, and be able to help guide them. But beyond that, I do try to take an approach where it's a little bit more holistic. And if there's things that I can help with from a process perspective, or maybe helping with being comfortable with value selling, I try to deliver those things to the table before that as well, that go beyond just what Openly is and does.
Hmm. Okay. I love that attitude because sometimes us agents out in the field get stuck on something that isn't related to quote openly unquote specific, but it's going to have an impact because of what we're struggling with in business. So taking a little bit broader approach, that's always helpful. And I wish more sales representatives took time to think in that way, because sometimes these uh, these visits, or even online visits, which many are today, digital visits, as it were. Um, if it's only about, what are your sales this month, and are you going to be able to sell more next month? It's like it feels very unhelpful, and it feels like the company doesn't care whether they do or not, because of the way the person is handling that relationship. Makes a lot of difference, and quite honestly, makes a difference in what we write, because we're all just humans trying to get along together, and we need that encouragement. So I appreciate that attitude about it. So
Yeah.
give us a little thumbnail. Not everybody's going to be familiar with Openly as a company, and I've been following them pretty much since the beginning, but I still don't have a deep knowledge. But just tell us a little bit about Openly and what they're trying to do in the space, and how that affects agents and business owners too, for that matter. Because no matter, if we own a business, we got to live somewhere. So anything related to home and home insurance is relevant.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I would say we're really kind of a high quality product that serves really kind of the middle market. One of the things that our founders kind of notice is there's really a gap between your traditional insurers, like some of the big names that a lot of people are familiar with, and then that very high end that really serves like the 1% or the 1% of the 1% even. So when you think about some of those more luxury brands.
Mhm.
So we really try to serve that gap in the middle. So typically the homes that fit best are in a replacement cost range between about 400K and 2 million. The other thing that's great about Openly is we really kind of utilize our technology to make our agents' lives a lot easier. So what's really unique is getting a quote with us is it's just inputting into our system the insured's name and address. That's it. And then our system pulls data from a lot of different sources to be able to do the rest for you. So the benefit to the agent is not only are you selling a high quality policy, that by the way, every home is guaranteed for replacement up to 5 million, also very unique. But then in addition to that, you're able to be a lot more efficient with your time and really be able to focus more on building the relationship with that insured and really trying to suit their needs rather than spending a lot of time just getting data and putting it in and being very transactional. So
Mhm.
so that's I think that some of the things that we're really solving for is having a better product, serving a niche that is a little bit underserved, and helping agents not only be more efficient but really be able to focus on that human aspect
Right, right.
job as
And,
well.
and that is kind of a pain point because it takes a lot of information to underwrite a property well, and it always has. And having the data and being able to assimilate it in the proper form is huge, and it does take a lot of time. So uh, I can say that Openly does that well. You know pretty quickly if a property is going to fit, and you don't spend 20 minutes trying to figure out will it fit, and that is really helpful. And time savings is huge, and in today's world people expect things to be quick, and as agents we often struggle with making them quick and still doing the correct work and coming to a value product for them. So that's a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely. I from prior experience as an agent and also had a role as kind of almost like you would call it an agency manager for a while. I've seen a lot of different systems with a lot of different carriers, and some of the frustrations I had with some of them in the past is actually kind of why I have a passion for what I do here at Openly, of just knowing, hey, there's got to be a better way to do stuff. So
Mhm.
so Openly and companies like it have been on my radar for a while, and so to me this is kind of a dream job in the sense that I get to talk about something with agents that I'm really a bit passionate about, and hopefully folks can kind of see the value fact that even if it's not a good fit for us, we're letting you know right away. We're not
Mhm.
wasting your time, and sometimes you can kind of gather some insights by working with us that hopefully help you figure out where it can fit if we're not the answer.
Mhm. Mhm. Yes, yes, that is good. That's good. Okay, so we kind of have an idea of what Openly is all about and who Andrew is. So let's talk a little bit about how you've been thinking about the question I always ask about business owners, because we're trying to be a place where a business owner can come and either, if he's new to business, he or she, uh, they can get a tip on getting started well and strong, or if they've been in business for a while, maybe get a tip that they need to grow the way they want to. So what are you thinking about that?
Yeah. I think one of the biggest things that I've really observed in my career is just culture within a business. So whether the business is two people, 200, or 20,000, your culture really kind of sets the tone for the day to day for all involved, and um, that's the things that I really enjoy about being here at Openly is not only does it matter, but it's a really healthy culture. So one of the big parts of it is openly we have these 5 core values. So they're integrity, curiosity, teamwork, urgency, and oh my goodness, I am blanking on the last one. Empathy, of course, empathy. So those are ideals that really everybody is tasked with trying to uphold, not only amongst ourselves, but even externally whenever we're working with our agency partners or customers when they have claims. We really try to uphold those values, and I think putting those values first and foremost is a key to that. So that everybody is able to bring their best self to work. Because I've been in cultures that haven't been so great, and the difference there is it's you dread going to work. You're only doing the minimum. It's not a place where you feel fulfilled or feel like you're doing your best. So I would say taking the time to really think about what values you want for your team, and really making sure that they're in a place where they enjoy, coming to work every day, and giving their all. I think is so tremendous. When you, especially, from a bottom line perspective, when you start thinking about, people leave because of a bad culture, right? So then you're losing that productivity. Then you got to go find someone. You got to take the time to interview them. There's usually costs associated with training them. It can be really costly to your business to have a lot of turnover. So if you can invest in the people you have, perhaps even setting up a career path for what comes next for those folks, that's when you can really build a strong culture and make your business a lot more profitable.
Yes, that is so true. We counsel working some in the benefit space over the years, and we have people doing that now. But the turnover in a company can actually just destroy it, because there's so much hidden cost in replacing people, and it's a financial drain on a company that sometimes is camouflaged if they don't think about it the right way. And not only that, but if you're serving others, and all of us are in some capacity, clients, then if they don't taken care of properly, then you start to lose business on top of having extra expense. And it's just decimating to a company. And I've seen that happen in small business, especially where we work in that small business space, where most people have less than 50 employees, and sometimes most often they don't have time to have or the funds to have an HR person, so it's done by an owner or a lead person, and that culture is so important. And it's true. There's it brings out the competitive nature in all of us. When someone does well, we want to do well, we want to do better, and it brings success to almost any company, like you say, regardless of the size. It matters a lot.
Absolutely.
Well, have you got? That's a great tip, by the way. And have you got any wrap up thoughts that you want to share with us before we wrap up our time together?
Well, first of all, Bill, thank you again for having me. It was a lot of fun to be able to do this and share a little bit more about myself and what I do. I would say, if anybody wanted to learn a little bit more about me or about Openly, feel free to follow me on LinkedIn. So Andrew Siegenthaler, hopefully my name, and maybe the link is in the show notes. So I try to post on there once in a while. If nothing else, you'll see some pictures of my dog. So,
well, that's always good. I mean, well, I don't know so much on LinkedIn, but in other places, if you have a dog or a cat, hey, you can get the world to look at you, right? So
that's right.
That never hurts. That never hurts. Well, we appreciate you taking time to come on today, and we wish you much success. And hopefully, even though it's been a struggle here in the last 12 to 18 months in the property space, and it doesn't matter whether you're talking about commercial or personal, we're not out of it yet. we've seen so much change in not only underwriting criteria, but just the cost, which is what everyone sees, but the underwriting criteria is tightening as well. So hopefully we're going to survive it, and we're going to all be here as the year progresses along, and maybe get stabilized. That's what we're all hoping for, right? Is some stabilization at this point.
Yeah, better days are ahead, that's for sure.
Yeah, we're counting on that. Listen, thanks again for coming on, Andrew. We appreciate it very much, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks, Bill.
Okay, have a good one. This is The Stash, and you're listening to the Business Bottom Line podcast, coming to you from the Jewel City of the Mountains, Greenville, Tennessee. We're in the foothills of the Smokies, talking business with people just like you who are responsible for the bottom line, sharing business tips to inspire, inform, and improve, and turn your bottom line from red to black.